policymakers absolutely need to boost the economy, in part by extending unemployment insurance benefits, in part by extending and maybe improving upon the payroll tax cut, as Catherine mentioned, and taking other steps to turn around the economy. But that's not going to be enough. As Ron mentioned, from 2001 to 2007, the period covering the last economic expansion, poverty ended up higher than where we were before. So at a minimum, you need the economy to be improving, but it doesn't guarantee that you're going to get the poverty reduction you want. So we also need concerted policy efforts that will connect people with limited employment prospects to good jobs. But finally, I want to leave you all with this point, that in this climate of deficit reduction, policymakers should not increase poverty or inequality. And this is actually a historic bipartisan principle found as far back as 1985 and embodied in the 3 successful deficit reduction efforts of the 1990s, in 1990, 1993, and 1997, where we actually reduced poverty and inequality even as we shrank budget deficits significantly. The only 2 major deficit reduction proposals, bipartisan deficit reduction proposals right now that have been designed in whole or in part by current members of Congress, the Simpson Commission proposal, or the President's National Commission on Deficit Reduction, and the Gang of 6 proposal by 6 senators. Both embody this principle. The Simpson proposal made very clear that they intended for deficit reduction not to increase poverty or inequality. They protected core low-income entitlements. And in the Gang of 6 proposal, now the Gang of 6 includes 3 Republican conservative senators, Senators Saxby Chambliss, Mike Crapo, and Tom Coburn. That in this proposal, the senators went out of their way to make sure that low-income entitlement programs were not cut, even as they proposed arguably $4 trillion or more in deficit reduction over the next 10 years, with some exception to Medicaid, where there might be some savings that don't harm beneficiaries. In this proposal, specific instructions were given to those who oversee, in Congress, who oversee the SNAP program, that they cannot reduce deficits by cutting the SNAP program or food stamp benefits. Similarly, for the Senate Finance Committee, instructions were given to say that you can't cut deficits by cutting the earned income tax credit or child tax credit. And in fact, the Gang of 6 proposal said that you have to at least maintain, if not increase, progressivity in the tax code. So, to sum up, poverty matters. It creates immediate harm and has long-term damaging effects. Policy matters, both on an ongoing basis and on a temporary basis. Policy has significantly reduced poverty. And policymakers now have important decisions to make about turning around the economy, connecting people with limited employment prospects to good jobs, and ensuring that deficit reduction not increase poverty or inequality.